Hello everyone, this is Pastor Dave from Gloria Dei Lutheran Church. And isn't this garden stunning? This is one of my favorite spots on the church grounds. This has been the most beautiful it's ever looked, and we are here amongst flowers and benches and the gazebo, and it all has just burst forth in life in a way that's just really beautiful. And you wonder how this all happened. And you notice that there's organization to it, that there was a lot of planning that went into it. And I can remember those discussions that Pastor Scott had with a number of you in looking at the plan, and he had the plan laid out, and you looked it over, and some of you commented, and so changes were made, and so a next evolution of the plan was put into place. And with all of that effort came with the coming of the plants and stones and everything. These are all pieces of God's creation coming together in a very creative manner to be able to put out here a little taste of heaven. And it's absolutely beautiful. And that is what it's all about, to be able to grasp hold of what it means to be made in God's image. You are made in God's image, and that's the promise that we are going to be exploring this week. You are made in God's image. Ephesians chapter 2 verse 10 puts it this way. We are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God has prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. That's Ephesians 2:10. In other words, God has got a plan and purpose for you. You are an extraordinary piece of workmanship. And in Christ, you have been recreated, that you might be able to be a force of healing, a force of creativity, and to be able to bring together what God has already done in even more creative ways, that you're able to work in cooperation with God. So if you're wondering why you're running your business, why are you parenting your children, especially during those frustrating days, and with all of the quarantine and now the demonstrating and things on the disturbing news that's out there, raising this next generation as leaders for this time. If you're wondering why you're up doing all of these things, why you're sending that card in the mail to give somebody a piece of encouragement, why are you praying for others? It's because God has prepared you for that purpose, that you might do good works. You've been recreated in Christ for good works that God has prepared beforehand, that you should walk in them. And this is a time when we are to grasp, in this day and age, to be able to walk in the purposes that God has given us, which includes doing marvelous things like this garden to give people a taste of heaven. So, as you go about this week, I really invite you, if you join a small group, we're going to be gathering for worship here on Wednesday night at 6 o'clock and Sunday morning at 9. Our live stream will be happening at 9 o'clock as well. So in the meantime, with all of this, remember, you are created in God's image. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10, we are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, that he prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. You are made in God's image. And with that thought today, may you keep and live the faith.